या नहीं, आप भी जरूर हमें बताइए यार कि आपके हिसाब से ये जो मुकाबला है ये कौन सी टीम के नाम रहेगा, और कमेंट करके बताइए। और कमेंट करके आप जरूर हमें बताइए कि क्या लगता है आपको इस मुकाबले में, इंग्लैंड और साउथ अफ्रीका के बीच जो मुकाबला खेला जा रहा है उसमें
for the outside edge of Quinton to Kock if it does swing.
Third man is up now.
Have seen at this on the surface, ball is touch on the slow side. Also, something to keep an eye on is how they run between the wickets. We know that there's some big pockets here in Paul. Historically, again, it's been a big feature of the T20 game.
Good run. Good run. You know, more often than not, particularly with the guys on the edge of the circle, if you go straight away, you'll be fine. And given the non-striker is the only one in danger if the ball goes to third man, it's fine. It's a bowler and indeed the captain.
And in particular, these two, historically, they've really built some good partnerships together. I remember a game a few months ago at Newlands where both of them got really good scores, and their running between the wickets was so good. So they understand each other's games, which is a great start and that's the end of the first, and 7 without loss.
Strike rate reflects runs per 100 balls. So in his career, for example, Quinton de Kock has scored at 135 per 100 balls. That's very good over a long career. Anything over 130, 150 from Heinrich Klaasen. Anything over 130 means you're in the upper echelon. Once you touch on 140, you're exceptional, particularly if it's over time. Jofra Archer from the end just beneath our commentary box. Means he has the wind pushing the ball to sort of third man, really, I suppose. Squarish cover. It does get the odd outswinger to go. You don't think of him as a swing bowler. He tends to hit that back
gives
of the
me
length
immunity support
lift
because your
and bounce
world
more than
counts
swing,
on
but
you.
he does swing it out on occasions.
और पहली गेंद को डिफेंड किया है थर्ड मैन की जानिब, पॉइंट की जानिब सिंगल लेंगे ये दोनों प्लेयर और सिंगल के साथ आउट हो जाएगा स्कोर बिना किसी विकेट के नुकसान पे.
Here against Quinton de Kock.
1.1 ओवर का खेल अब तक मुकम्मल
Quinton's put
हो
him
चुका है।
away on occasions. He's pulled him. He's got a perfect backlift. If you watch Quinton de Kock, he's almost like a left-handed Steve Smith. His back goes out towards gully.
Welcome everyone to this
Comes on
live
a
stream।
perfect arc to pick anything up off his
जहां
hip.
8 रहते हुए स्कोर बिना किसी विकेट के नुकसान के
Bigger
बॉलर है
ground here than
तैयार।
Newlands, so
अगली
fine
गेंद
leg
लेकर सामना करेंगे
will be
इस
in
गेंद
play
का
if
क्विंटन
Archer
डी
does
कॉक। और
drop
क्विंटन डी
short.
कॉक ने पिछले मैच के अंदर तेज खेलने की कोशिश की थी, लेकिन उसमें जो है वो इतने अच्छे अंदाज से कामयाब नहीं रह सकते थे। तो भाई अर्शद भाई जो एप्लीकेशन आपको प्रोवाइड की थी उसके टीम साउथ अफ्रीका का स्कोर बिना किसी विकेट के नुकसान पे। अगली गेंद लेकर जोफ्रा आर्चर ओवर द विकेट रहेंगे तैयार, सामना करेंगे इस गेंद का क्विंटन डी कॉक। फील्ड में तब्दीली करते हुए बैक फाइन लेग का फील्डर बाउंड्री लाइन पर मौजूद है और थर्ड मैन के फील्डर को बाउंड्री लाइन पर भेजा गया है।
Definitely full and maybe slightly wider as you suggested there, Mark.
जी हाँ गाइस, एक बढ़िया मैच, एक अच्छा मैच चलते हुए। ओके जी, ओके भाई मेरे बी राइट।
Much pace in the pitch, and you can often sense whether a batsman's been rushed or not. Now Quinton de Kock, of course, sees it earlier than less talented players, but it was a quick delivery. So we know the game then.
Yeah, that's his go-to shot. I mean, that's not that short. Thinking about coming forward to that. Quinton de Kock's thinking of pulling it away. It's not a short ball. I know a few that'd be driving that on the up.
You feel that he'll be licking his lips as well with fine leg. Hearts on the boundary, square leg in. So anything in that area, he's looking to go at.
These two guys down beneath us have just gone on a little happy march together, chatting away, and now they've suddenly buried themselves beneath the boundary board in embarrassment. We got a ticking off from the cameraman. They're now on their haunches, and indeed they're now on their backside, sitting down having a conversation. Yeah, the Quinton de Kock shot from the ball before reminds us that leaving a gap somewhere to a player's strength can often bring his downfall, the strength being the weakness. If you search too hard for it, you show respect is the key thing to the new ball, which you have to say Quinton often does, but he does like to dominate. Whoever it is, Archer or anybody else, he wants to impress himself upon them. Couple gone, 9 for no wicket.
Tomorrow starts tonight. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Yeah, that was spot on. I mean, the moment Archer gets taken off, and if you're still in the power play, whoever comes on, and it was Tom Curran the other night who went for 24. You can't just let England have a power play where you're 15 for 1 or something. So someone's going to have to go. So whoever follows Archer, or even Sam Curran now at the other end, you know they're coming after you. That's where Sam Curran's very good. Even when they know they're coming after him,
the wind to help him as well.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Very few men can pull that off. Fantastic.
Sure was. First one was decent. Second one exceptional. Previous delivery just got off over Archer. This one miles over Archer, miles over the boundary. It's not all about boot power and strength from Quinton de Kock. There's a bit of class and touch in there as well. Brilliant shot.
Great to see that head position. How still it was and how he let the ball come. He didn't go hard at it, and then how he stayed head dead still till long after the ball. Rather like you see those photographs of Roger Federer, and he's already struck the ball with his racket. The ball's on its journey, but his head is still right where it was when he struck it. So what do England do? Well, they don't do anything is the answer. Curran will change his length because the field stays the same. Well, you and I were talking before play about the ongoing creativity of T20 cricketers.
Yeah, and this is a classic example of it.
Spliced it really. Three gone, 26 for no wicket. Look who's top of the list. And only 3 more games, by the way, than maybe de Villiers. And almost 300 more runs.
JP hasn't spoken to me for 3 days, and he just turned to me and said, make sure you work off the monitor there, Nas. Have a look at the monitor. And I've just worked out why. Good commentators work off the monitor. Thanks, JP.
Very good. Very good.
Well, you made the point about the strike rate, Mark. Was it above 130? Then you kind of talking a good game. Didn't quite make that mark, unfortunately.
No, but it was different then. You see, the game's changed, and you've been out of it for a massive amount of time, like a year and a bit. Yeah, still very good. 126. De Villiers, remarkable. David Miller. He and Andili Peffer-Quayo missing again today. I think we can be sure that they're the COVID sufferers. And a good stroke from Bavuma without quite timing it. This is a really good start here by South Africa, both in attitude and execution.
Yeah, I'd say the first orthodox shot that's come off, and even that is off the toe end of the bat. So it'll be interesting to see how this pitch progresses. I reckon there'll be a lot of pace off, a lot of cutters. That was right off the toe. A lot of chop and change here. Morgan came to Archer for a word and then turned back. Obviously Archer decided to slip out and Morgan didn't agree, but anyway it's what they've gone with, and that slip has gone to mid-wicket. Archer probably going to bowl a little straighter, and does. What a cricketer this man is.
Yeah, straight, full and straight. It wasn't a Yorker. Bavuma trying to go over that leg side, just trying to pick it up. One of Archer's strengths is how straight he bowls. He never really tries to swing it away. Again, toe end of the bat. I don't think it's bouncing as much as the batsman would like. Through the shot early, and Archer, as he does, good economy, good wickets, very fine bowler. Bavuma played a nice little cameo. He got 13, 33 for 1.
A collection of festive movies to make your Christmas.
Love it.
On Sky Cinema.
Explore the extraordinary restless place we call home. Throughout A Wild Year on Earth.
Hello, Reeza.
Reeza Hendricks in at 3 ahead of Faf, who played so well the other night. Reeza is a more orthodox stroke player actually, but a very good timer of the ball. 24 matches, 26, striking at 120. It's all okay. He's got in him to be just a touch better than that, I think. You know him well?
Temba Bavuma looking to go aerial on the leg side. Just chalked it in the end, unfortunately. But just coming back to your question there, Mark. Yeah, those numbers don't quite suggest the ability that he possesses. As mentioned earlier, he's prefers the top of the order. Good bouncer to end a good over from Archer. 4 gone, 33 for 1.
For 1 is decent enough start. Some good shots played. Quinton to Kock, 20 from 12. Generally aggressive, has to be to use that power play. Here's Tom Curran.
Yeah, he had a chastening evening, didn't he, at Newlands, Tom Curran. It was Sam really who upheld the family name. Tom went round the park a bit, but Eoin Morgan, as he's wont to do actually, has kept faith with Curran. England must have thought about mowing alley for Curran on a slightly bigger ground, but Eoin Morgan has said no. One bad game doesn't mean you're out. Show faith in you.
Over Archer, and it's going to trickle along. Oh no, can't get there. 4 runs, a long chase for Dawid Malan.
Yeah, the key is to try and work out how you start after you've had a difficult game the day before. He got away with the first delivery. Quinton beat the back of his bat in disappointment that he hadn't latched onto a full delivery. There's very little time to settle in T20 cricket, especially against the likes of Quinton, who's willing to improvise.
Fine leg's gone back now. Yep, he's going at him. It's power play time, and there'll also be the memory of the game before. Don't want to let the bowler who went round the park settle. Just try and keep his senses heightened and the pressure on him. Captain of the side, Quinton de Kock, and as you look and as South Africa builds to try and formulate what squad they will have and will settle on, particularly important to give them a start, but to also somewhat hold it together as you go along. Shot, nicely played. Nice way to get off the mark.
Yeah, it is nicely played, but there's the disappointment for Tom Curran. It's a new man at the crease. He's trying to make his way. He's just faced the 2 deliveries, and he's given him a freebie. And that puts the pressure on you as a T20 bowler. This was an opportunity. If you're on a line just outside the off-stump back of length, then invariably at worst goes for a single. But after a difficult night the night before, his skills have let him down. He slid it down the leg side, and that's easy pickings, particularly with fine leg in the circle.
And you might have looked at that ball and thought, oh, that's not too bad a delivery. It's just that fine legs up in the circle. But that is the point, that your cover is on the offside, so you don't want to be erring onto the stumps, rather err on the other side. It means Reeza Hendricks is away, and he'll be happy about that. That's something to sort out as well, Sean, and talking about who's in, who's out, and what they have as a squad. Reeza Hendricks is an opening batsman. Plessis does so well at number 3 in adjusting the way that he plays, whether in the power play or out the power play. So role definition important, and getting the right pegs in the right holes. 44 for 1.
Yeah, it's also an assessment from a South African perspective. Is the World Cup was supposed to happen in Australia, so Temba, a decent option at the top of the order. He can deflect, he can use the pace. But now with the next World Cup happening in India, you need a guy who can bludgeon it a little bit, hit over the top, hit the big shots. So maybe they'll have to look at Temba's role as well. But after a big partnership between the two of them, it seems a little bit silly to have split up Plessis from coming in at number 3. There it is, October, November 2021.
A year away. ICC Men's T20 World Cup in India. Chris Jordan. Good bowler, Chris Jordan. Those best figures, 4 for 6. One away now from Stuart Broad, leading wicket takers. He's got 64. Banged away. It'll go for 4. Quinton de Kock continues on.
Yeah, he's eyeing up that leg side boundary. That's his natural hit, with the way that his backlift is, which is out to gully. He finds it so easy to swing the ball behind square on the leg side. England have got cover. They've put short, fine leg back now. But de Kock there absolutely threading it in between those 2 men on the boundary.
Has he got it? No, he hasn't. He hasn't got it. Oh, taken. Well done in the end, Tom Curran. Nearly over him.
Yeah, brilliant catch in the end. There's a strong breeze coming across the ground, and the breeze would have assisted the ball going away from Tom Curran. He set himself, but at the last minute it nearly got away from him. He recovers, takes the catch, and what a vital catch it is. Such an important player, de Kock. You can see the ball makes contact with the bottom of the bat, doesn't get the power he's after, and that's a wonderful recovery. So the South African captain has to go. He's got 30 off 18 deliveries. South Africa now 48 for 2.
Yeah, played well. Quinton de Kock, yeah, continually looking at the bottom of his bat as he walks off and make the contact that he'd have liked.
Chris Jordan goes to 65 wickets, which is exactly the same as Stuart Broad. So he's the leading joint highest wicket taker for England in T20 cricket.
Du Plessis. Yeah, good numbers. Very good numbers. One player, Quinton de Kock, who leaves, and another, du Plessis, who walks in. Oh, get that in the gap. Both good players, important players to South Africa.
Yeah, early impressions, not a lot of bounce in this pitch. Very fast outfield, much quicker outfield than I remember here from years gone by. But both wickets that have fallen now, there's not been a lot of bounce in the surface. Bavuma, bottom edge onto his stumps. What a good catch that was from Tom Curran with the wind. The breeze, as Sean Pollock mentioned, just taking the ball almost out of his reach.
Got it comfortably there, and then hold on, go gadget arms to get them a little bit further. And that's such a relief, isn't it, when you know that it's hit the hands correctly and you've managed to hand on to it. Then you've got to just recover enough so you don't whack your head on the ground.
Young man's catch, wasn't it? Subtle spine.
As bowlers, you have to be careful about those spines. But I'm trying to remember back when we played, Jay. I mean, that was a long time ago. It was a similar kind of surface. You often used to hit balls at the bottom of the bat, and it was one of those grounds where you were just used to second guess yourself about whether you should or shouldn't go over the top, because you'd often find you'd hold out to the ring because of the lack of bounce. And as a bowling option, you always used to go straight very quickly because you knew it was difficult for them to pop you back over the head. So after going for 4 in his first delivery, he picked up a wicket in the second. It's a good recovery. 6 runs from the over. Got 50 up for South Africa. And that's after 6 overs, which brings the power rate power play to a conclusion.
A look at some of the shots played in the power rate power play. Fantastic. Quinton de Kock and then Temba Bavuma. Beautifully driven through the offside and then at the bottom of his bat into the stumps. Reeza Hendricks to the crease. And then Quinton de Kock, bottom of the bat as well. Top catch. And that's brought du Plessis to the wicket.
Yeah, and immediately the power play is done. It's Adil Rashid into the attack, as happened at Newlands. That is the way. You rarely see Rashid bowl in the opening phase of a T20 game, but the moment power play is done, in he comes. Such an important part of the middle phase of the game for England.
Half a shout. The pads.
Or whatever you want to call it.
You're going to have to see a replay of that.
Did he get it? Did he touch it?
I don't know. I'm going to have to see a replay of how that unfolded. Looks like it was off the back of the bat or something, given as a single.
Slow surface. Little bit of turn that time. And that Newlands in the previous one, yeah, that was particularly slow too. Oh, didn't get that. Didn't get it at all.
No.
And for the big slog sweep, and probably looking 6, and it just clothed it. Very high on the bat. Decent start for Rashid. It's 54 for 2.
Morgan didn't throw the ball to Stokes at all, but now, quite early on in the game here, he's all-rounder a go.
Is the use of the word sore appropriate?
Well, he's had issues with knee, shoulder, various problems over the last year and a half. England trying to manage him, these multi-format players, of which he is one player across all formats. It's really tricky. Of course, they've left Stokes and Archer out of the 50-over version of this short series we're playing.
He's a magic player, Ben Stokes. All facets of the game. It doesn't matter what you're thinking about, whether he's having a standard slip or out in the deep. Who can forget that catch? Warriors bowling, batting, whatever.
Yeah, it's always different. You change venue, so they've come to Bullin Park for the next game that takes place, and you have to change your tactics according to the playing surface, a bigger playing surface here at Bullin Park. And just have a look at the sixes. There were 16 sixes hit in the game in Newlands, and if you have a look at them, there were 5 of those that wouldn't have carried on this field. 2 of them were from Jonny Bairstow to get him going. So it is something you have to be aware of, and sometimes you can adjust your tactics as a bowler. You can give it maybe a little bit more air. And it also is affected to which side of the ground you try to target. There's a stiff breeze today. You have to take that into account about where you want to go with regards to hitting the sixes. Now we can see the ones that would have fallen short. Carried at Newlands, but those would have fallen short here. Big boundary straight, 80, 84, and 80 straight. Running between the wickets is also very hard. Bigger areas for you to knock the ball into and to be able to come back for 2s and possibly 3s.
That bit bigger.
I wasn't looking at the graphics so much as the backdrop, actually, of the mountain ranges. I can't think of a more stunning backdrop for a cricket ground than that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real feast for a person who grew up in Manchester.
Mancunians throwing darts at your image now, listening in.
I love their football team, but as far as the view from the stadium now.
And yes, there's only one. 58 for 2.
So that's a decent start from Ben Stokes. Adil Rashid, he'll mix it up much more than Shamsi did the other night already in that first over one, pushed out of the front of the hand, a couple of googlies. Really mix it up from over to over.
One more!
Notice the wrist spinners, the right arm wrist spinners, using a lot of googlies. I noticed that in the IPL. I think people setting up to go, you know, to swing freely with the gap between back there. That's a classic example. You see that gap between that huge gap as they look to drive or even slog sweep from outside off stump. And they're looking to spin it back.
I was surprised Shamsi didn't bowl more out of the back of the hand to Jonny Bairstow in particular the other night. He was lining him up to the leg side. Shamsi may have only bowled one out of the back of the hand.
Well, there it was flatter and quicker, and working with it so well that it's worth 4.
Yeah, and what's impressive about the shot is the control. He didn't try to overhit it. He saw that the point was square, just using the place. Remember that there's quite a stiff breeze that comes with Adil Rashid. So, great execution, causes a change in the field.
He bowled him. He's done him completely. And so often Rashid comes back from conceding a boundary. You've got a lot of courage, which you need.
Feel it all.
Oi! You used to be fun.
I'm still fun.
Still happy.
Just actually go with the 50 wickets. Average is really good, 25.6, but economy of 7.5. 7.6 is brilliant. He's very competitive, very smart, and not afraid when needed to bowl a little slower, just to get it up in the air a bit. Tease batsman, he got that higher and fuller after the flat ball that was reverse swept for 4, and won the day, as we said, as often does. Rassie van der Dussen, good ball striker for sure, and another good competitor, as is the want of South African cricketers. They're all good competitors. 4, the simplest of little flicks from Faf du Plessis, who's in good touch.
Yeah, carrying on where he left off on Friday. Faf du Plessis has been in really good form. Played really nicely in the IPL as well. Didn't try and overhit this one. Just goes with the arm. Gets into a really good position. Plants his back fluid outside off stump. Sees that big gap on the leg side and just flicks it over mid-wicket.
JP, how many discussions would there be in the dressing room about the release of the ball from the hand? Because we almost seem to see more scrambled seam balls, slower balls, you know, trick balls than seam-up balls. I think this one is a seam-up, but the one before was certainly... Well, no, that's a wobble ball. The one before was a scrambled seam.
Yeah, it's something that we've seen on many occasions in T20 game. Using that variation.
But do you look at a pitch before the match and say this is a pitch to get it full and scramble it a bit? Or is it something the bowler works out there and then? In other words, what's the level of discussion that goes into it?
I think from a bowling perspective, you definitely have a look at whether there's any variable bounce. And if that's the case, that's definitely an option, particularly the cross-seam ball, which creates that variable bounce almost more excessively. But this is something that Ben Stokes relies on quite a bit, the cross-seam, but also that slight leg cutter. We've seen Stuart Broad use that quite a bit in Test match cricket as well. Players are often trying to upskill their game.
Actually, you mentioned that will be a wide. Yeah, fair enough, I think. Stokes is distressed by it, but you got to live with it. I reckon, if anything here, there might be a bit of low bounce looking at this pitch.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about the two dismissals in Temba Bavuma and Reeza Hendricks. Both cross-bat shots. And historically here in Paul, it's always become a difficult shot. You've got to be looking straight down the ground.
Temba's certainly hit the base of the stumps. I think some bottom edge was involved, but you're right, I don't think it bounced as much as he thought it was going to bounce. Although he'll look at the stroke, as you've rightly pointed out, and think, head came up with the body and looked pretty ugly at the end. And then this one from Reeza Hendricks, just having hit the most delightful reverse sweep of boundary.
And the difference for me is the intention in the shot. So you think of Temba Bavuma really trying to be really aggressive, and you look at the boundary after the wicket from Faf du Plessis, he almost just stroked it over the inner ring, where he kept his shape pretty well. And that's something that you really got to focus on this surface.
Bowled much slower from Ben Stokes, taking everything off it. Just 111 Ks. 10 gone now. We're halfway through, and it's 75 for 3. Well, that shows us, or illustrates exactly what Nasser Hussain said earlier. Jofra Archer very rarely, if ever, lets England down in the power play. 2 overs, 8 dot balls.
Hey!
He's done him completely. Even Faf can barely believe what a mess he got into. A rooted back foot, but outside the crease.
Beautiful bit of bowling from Adil Rashid. He's got a nice breeze, can drift it in, find a bit of purchase. He's not afraid of tossing the ball up. This one just pushed a little bit out of the front of the hand, but there's purchase off the pitch, and very simple stumping for Jos Buttler. What a bowler Adil Rashid is in this middle passage of the game for England. He's over 50 wickets now. He's in a rare club. Joined Broad and Graham Swan, Chris Jordan. And that is a key wicket for England, with Faf du Plessis in good touch. South Africa just struggling a little. 75 for 4 now, just after the halfway mark.
Lunch gathering. You've got the Christmas spirit. You shall always be a good sport.
Polar bear, salmon.
And never ever give up.
Are you all doing different things?
Spirits like yours deserve long-lasting bubbles like these. Sure, we've got the tonic. You've...
You join us with Heinrich Klaasen on a hat-trick. Last ball of the previous over, first ball of this from Adil Rashid. Two fine examples of the art of wrist spin, and plenty of spin out there too for that leg break. Oh. This was a gem of a delivery, Jake.
Yeah, Faf will reflect on this and almost feels like it's half-hearted. Kind of had the idea of coming down the wicket. Just slight shimmy.
The old shimmy. You can't miss the ball if you're going to shimmy. You don't want to be hitting across it either.
That could have easily gone in the air, couldn't it, to that man at short extra cover as Klaasen was looking to work against the spin leading edge. Could have popped in the air quite easily. Talking about Archer, I mean, absolutely take the point about the power play, but he's one of those bowlers who's multi-phase bowler for England. He will come on in any of the three stages, really, at the start, mid and end. Bowled excellent Yorkers the other night when most people bowling Yorkers went the distance.
Right set, right.
77 for 4.
A fabulous Cape Town day. South Africa put into bat by Eoin Morgan for the second game in a row, finding it very difficult against a very typical English performance, very thorough. They're playing to their own rhythm, banging their own drum. That George Linde figure, by the way, the strike rate of 200 is on the back of just one innings, so it's a little bit unreal, but he did strike it well the other night. Much depends on this pair. Two warrior-type cricketers. You feel they like a scrap. They've certainly got time at the crease if that's their chosen route. I reckon they've got 2-3 overs of knocking it around. The off boundary can come off a bad ball. I think they want to lose too many war wickets now. Don't want to keep picking out fielders either. That really is frustrating when you time the ball out well, the top of its bounce.
Yeah, just to pick up on that point, interesting to see how these two go about it, particularly in the next 4 to 5 overs with only George Linde, your sort of recognized batter left in the shed. Ndile Petlakwayo. So you only have the one out-and-out all-rounder in George Linde.
Jordan's bowling to a very orthodox field. This is the old sort of one-day setup where the third man and the cover on the offside, a square leg and a long leg sweeping on the leg side. Mid-on's back in case there's a knock over the top, but it may be that it's a difficult pitch to improvise on. Very easy to be sure, but it certainly seems just a little too paced or a little uneven. One way or another. Morgan went with the same team, so he stuck with Tom Curran. Both, most of us have mentioned, Ath has certainly said that that is Eoin Morgan's way, to stick with people rather than dump them after a bad performance, and it's a good thing for continuity and for confidence. The option would have been Moeen Ali get the second spinner into the side, particularly as he offers the batting advantage, though he hasn't been in good nick, but they chose not to do that. They've gone with the same team, and at the moment they're in control of the match. 12 overs gone, 82 for 4.
Hey, Yashil. How you doing?
We love your brother's shirt, by the way. Manchester United, they're playing a little bit later. As has been the case for England, so many occasions in the recent past. Rashid to the fore in the middle overs. He's been brilliant again. 3.1 overs, 2 for 14. 2 important wickets. Reeza Hendricks started to get going and missed one, and they got a good delivery to turn away from Plessis.
Watch out, Jace.
England with 2 attacking fielders in at short extra cover and short mid-wicket, which suggests that Rashid's going to get it up there. Bowled it a little higher, not so much floatier, just a little higher since that flat ball that was reverse swept for 4 by Reeza Hendricks. That's a little flatter. Certainly a spin out there for him.
Just trying to work out how he can get a slip in here. 85 for 4, Rashid spinning it. 2 new batters at the crease. Mind seen a slip, maybe from mid-wicket.
Not maybe, definitely. That's the spot. Get him in. And the ball to purchase. If it turns and tries to flick it leg side, he can bring in Quinton bowled.
Especially with the tail that South Africa have. You know, they have a bowling all-rounder in next, and then some bowlers. I know Rabada can bat, but it's not like England, who have a lot of batting. If England get one more wicket here, the last few overs become long for South Africa.
Well, no stopping that. One of the few that's drifted down the leg side. And neither batsman nor wicket-keeper equal to it. 4 wide.
Gives it some air. I actually thought Klaasen had played it pretty well initially, but it's missed everything. Slid down the leg side.
Gone, 92 for 4.
There's Nasser's point about the batsman to come, Linde. Good strike rate, but that's just one occasion. One game and the last one at Newlands. And then Nortje, Rabada, Ngidi, Shamsi. If you compare that to England, I think I know who's winning the battle.
Plus, also, obviously, at this stage, with Morgan batting at 6, you probably got Morgan and Stokes in, or Morgan and one of the other batsmen. And then you still have Sam Curran, Tom Curran, Jordan. They all bat. Archer, we saw in the IPL, hit a long ball.
Rashid.
And Rash.
Yeah, they are. They do. They bat the whole way down. And it's one of the many strengths of the side. They can all do enough, can't they, with their various talents.
One area I'd like them to improve on, and of late they've not been great, has been their fielding. They played a couple of games against Australia at the Aegeus Bowl, albeit one of them was without Morgan, and they're often better with Morgan leading in the field. I think Moeen Ali was captain, and they were awful in the field. Throwing was all over the place, drop catches, misfield. So on a big surface like this towards the end of the innings, ball's going to be hit in pockets. See if they can save the 2, take the catches.
I just said before you guys came on what an orthodox field it was, which suggested that it perhaps wasn't the easiest pitch to manoeuvre the ball into unorthodox places for a batsman. Sort of quite an old-fashioned one-day field. Their decision is when they go. I mean, there's a point at which they need to try to get this to 160. And to do that, they've got to score at 10 and over from here, which doesn't. The pitch is a little low at times. And George Linde strikes it well. He's to come next, but as Nasser pointed out, after that, it's thinner. Out. Yes! Just chipped it straight into the hands of mid-wicket. The simplest of dismissals on a much better day for Tom Curran.
Yeah, the speed 116 kilometers per hour, so rolling the fingers over it and just taking the pace out of it on the surface, which hasn't got much pace as it is. He works a trick back of the hand, in fact, from Tom Curran. Klaasen might have identified and thought, if I can just pop it over short mid-wicket, there's a possibility of a boundary. No. He rolls the wrists and picks out Ben Stokes. A very easy catch, and that's an important wicket. We talked about the order and people still to come, and we know who they're supporting. Clearly not South Africa. They're happy about the wicket. Klaasen has to go for 7. 95 for 5.
Ashley Giles, England's director of cricket, on the right of picture.
Tom Curran uses that ball out the back of his hand well. Seam position stays exactly the same, so it doesn't appear any kind of change in action or change in seam, and it just sits in the pitch. see a lot of those on this tired surface. It's 97 for 5. Watch the way it comes out the back of the hand, and watch the seam position. So as a batsman, you don't see the seam spinning at all, and that gives you some overspin and bounce. It's too much bounce. A whole heap of trouble now, South Africa. 6 overs to go into the lower order. Going nowhere quickly.
England's celebrations. I'm told that you briefly lost audio. So just to confirm, George Linde is the new batsman. He got off the mark first ball with 2 down a backward square leg. And Heinrich Klaasen's frustration is he would have been the right guy for the surface because he's so physically strong, but as Nasser points out, it's a heap of trouble. The bowlers Nortje, Rabada and Ngidi Shamsi to come.
I think Morgan's had a look around and thinks, well, more wicket here, and we're into those bowlers, so who do I get back into the attack? The guy is probably most likely to pick up a wicket. I'll give him a slip in place as well, and let's see what we can do.
Well, the hat flew. Ben Stokes was at slip, and he's got his own cap on, and then he also had somebody else's blue sun hat, probably Archer's. And as Archer reached the crease, it flew, and he signalled for him to stop as it flew past the wicketkeeper, but Archer failed to notice him. Had it hit the hat, it would have been 5. Not far away. Oh, lucky, all the angles working against the bowler, bowling round the wicket. If you hit him in front, it's nearly always going down leg side. England not to review.
Yeah, just on the angle, sliding down. Buttler didn't really go up. A bit of a smirk from Archer as well. He's not so sure.
Two reviews for each team since we've gone to this local umpires in these COVID days. There it is, there's the flying hat, top of the picture.
over the mountains. It's a special place. Right, there it is, 10 and over brings 152. That would be nothing short of miraculous given how hard it's been to score. 6.8 is the present rate. Jordan into the attack with Rassie van der Dussen on strike. And just finishing with that balance of England's side while we're on it, Nasser. Oh, well run by Rassie van der Dussen, the man. Well, by them both, in fairness to him. George Linde quick too. I suppose it's Ben Stokes and whether he can bowl or not, isn't it? That's the. If he's playing as a specialist batsman, it's harder for them.
Yeah, but what they could do, obviously, is leave one of their batters out, maybe Roy, and move Bairstow back to open. And then you have Morgan at 5, you have Curran at 6. You know, you have all those bold batsmen that we've spoken about that bowl. We have the other Curran. You can play Mo himself, can come in at 7. He's a very useful number 7. And then you play Moeen Ali or your second spinner as the other way. But Ben Stokes doesn't bowl that much in T20 cricket, you're right.
No, he's used very sparingly. That might be injury driven, or certainly if he was the bowler we know he can be all the time, then England would have an option to leave out another seamer, maybe Jordan or Curran, and play the spinner. That's the only other way of going.
George.
I suppose Jason Roy will feel he could do with some runs. He didn't want talk to suddenly start emerging of Bairstow going back up the order.
You would imagine by the time they get to the World Cup, everything would have been done to possibly get Ben Stokes as fit as possible, so that he can contribute. But it is depth, there's no doubt.
As other people contend, by the way, is another all-rounder in Chris Woakes. Very much a contender for a place in England's T20 side.
No.
South Africa without 2 players who would be very, well, almost certain, I'd say, to play in their side. Would you say, Sean, in David Miller and Ndile Pahlaqueo?
Yeah, definitely. Just have a look at the follow-through here of Jordan. Ends up right down the middle. Not allowed to go there too many times. You'll get one warning and then you have to stay off. Yeah, I think the experience, the ability to play spin in those middle overs will be vitally important as well, of those two.
And of course that name we're not allowed to mention in AB de Villiers. I spoke to the skipper Quinton de Kock the other day, and he sort of ummed and ahed, and he sort of sat on the fence, and in the end said, I don't know any captain in the world that wouldn't want de Villiers. So that's still that issue in the background leading up to a World Cup, whether you just suddenly call de Villiers back. Looking at this batting lineup here today, he's missed.
It's wider down the leg side. There was an interview with Mark Boucher who basically said that for now, in many ways, they won't go down that avenue. And then looking at the RPL happening April, May next year, after that, whoever they want to be in the mix will have to make themselves eligible. So in many ways that could make sense, give guys opportunities to see what they can do, because after an RPL, someone like a de Villiers would be in enough touch, if you do want to consider him, to be able to fit him in pretty easily. You do just think that on those surfaces in India, the experience that he possesses and his ability to manipulate the spinners in the middle overs and be destructive, even with 8 or 9 months of these guys practicing and getting opportunities, can they get to the standard that he can produce? I don't think so. So it would make sense to give them a chance, but then definitely to count de Villiers in. $108 for 5.
I'm Doug Hirsch. You may already know that GoodRx can help you save up to 80% on your prescriptions. Unfortunately, many Americans can't get to a doctor right now. The good news is that for many health issues, you can see a doctor online. It's easy. Just go to GoodRx.com, and with a few clicks, you'll be treated by a licensed medical professional, all from the comfort of your own home. Visits are confidential and affordable. Need a prescription? Your doctor can send it to your pharmacy or have it mailed to you. Get the healthcare you deserve at GoodRx.com.
Only kidding. Only kidding. Only kidding, James. That doesn't even show the man with the golden arm. Coming on, picking up those wickets in the middle overs. A couple of Harbhajan Singh impersonations.
Feels like you've spoken to the technicians to get that in there.
You'll be amazed if you know who to influence in this production.
He's been waiting for you. Slow death. Difficult death. I wonder though if you can look at it and say 109 or 108 as is the case just before that ball after 16 overs. I don't think South Africa have helped themselves in the way that they've played. Played better, maybe 150. That in terms of the assessment of what it might do and how it would go. And from here to get to 150 would take some doing.
Yeah, from a South African point of view, you would think that they would be sort of targeting that 150 mark, yes, but with the slowness of the wicket, boundaries are far and few between. We know we've got the seamers next in, so you don't have the luxury of another out-and-out batter or an all-rounder to come in, so you got to be mindful of that as well. So from these two batters in now, from their perspective, how do they go about it? Do they say, right, let's the next 2 overs try and get 6 to 7, maybe 8 runs and over, and try and swing from the hip, and as we know we can do in T20 cricket in the last 2 overs, try and get around that 12 to 15 run mark, getting around that 150 then.
Bowling right up in the block hole, quick as well from Jofra Archer. Yep, can't get under that, and done well to get their foot out of the way as well, and the bat down in time, nearly. It's a top over this, and yeah, things have been difficult for South Africa, but in coming to try and close things out at the back end, you want to ensure that there are no freebies, and South Africa will be looking to play some big shots, try and get as close as they can to that 150. And Archer's giving them nothing. On ball to go, and his day's work on legal delivery. 3. To bowl that again.
Yeah, what's the challenge? We have a look at Van der Dussen. He's been there for 24 balls. He's got 21 on the board. Hasn't hit a boundary as yet. I think that's definitely part of the game that he has to develop. That just in your normal stroke play and process through the innings, you have to have the ability through normal shots just to pick up boundaries. You can't. He does tend to be a little bit of a, I get myself in and then I go. In those middle few deliveries there, he does have to find options, whether it be sweep shots or paddles or whatever it may be, where he needs to pick up boundaries, because we haven't seen many. No fours in the last 4 overs, and particularly when it gets difficult in India, that's the real challenge, when your ball's not coming on, and how do you pick up the spots?
112 for 5. they just continue to get wickets. A beautiful delivery that to Faf du Plessis, who was neither down the wicket nor in his crease. It looks so soft, doesn't it? That Klaasen is trying to work the ball away, but Faf du Plessis slow just chips it to mid-wicket. Haven't been given too much, and have tried to make some, and it's not been successful. The power play was okay. 15, the power play, yeah, you're going okay. But since then, lost too many wickets and have slowed down a great deal. Here's Tom Curran.
Yeah, it's been a better performance from Tom Curran so far. You basically look at bowlers and you look at three real dimensions. First of all, is your skills, then the decisions that you make, and then the execution of the decisions you make. And I thought on all three fronts in the last game he was pretty average with regards to where he went to when new batsmen came to the crease. He gave away a few freebies. We saw one today, but he's just settled in a little bit better, and he's got the right variations out. The one he bowled to Klaasen was brilliant. Out the back of the hand, landed it perfectly, execution good plan, good delivery. And that picked him up his first wicket of the day. And now you'd think with this big field, slower surface, there'll be a lot of deliveries where he takes the pace off it and asks the batsman to go airborne if they want to pick up to that boundary that's eluded South Africa for a while.
That'll be wide. Third man
Rassie
out and sweeper on that's up in the circle. That's a wide and making sure it's outside that hitting arc of George Linde.
I had a conversation with Mark Nicholas before the start of play. We were talking about the evolving game, and particularly from a bowling perspective, whatever options you're looking at, particularly at the death, what is your field? And the field has to possibly suggest that you have 2 or 3 options. Interestingly, in terms of that field that Tom Curran went through, George Linde having the mid-off up, goes the wide Yorker, but there's everybody out on the leg side, so makes the batter think that he's going to be looking to go into his pads.
I suppose it's very much a case of not being predictable, and I'm talking fields there, and that many times you look and you say the field says this is what he's going to do, and as the bowler you want to give yourself a couple of options at the very least with that field that you set. Struck well, that's a top shot, 4 runs.
Well, he persists with that wider Yorker option, doesn't find the length on this occasion, and well, strong man of George Linde finds the middle of the bat and gets the boundary. It has been eluding South Africa in this innings. Welcome boundary in the 18th over.
Need a few more of those. Oh, he's hit that. Oh, yes, he has. That's gone a long way. 6 runs. George Linde.
That was exactly the same case, wasn't it, in the last game? He got a wide delivery put away off Tom Curran. And then a couple of deliveries later, he smashed it over mid-wicket. There we go. How clever is that? Got the clubs and what do they call that device? Sidearm that he used to pick up. So was introduced to pick up the ball of the dogs that had got the spit on the mouth, so you didn't have to handle it. But now it's been introduced to cricket to be able to throw a bit quicker. But how good was that shot? That's right off the middle. There's a manufacturer that used to be used by JP Duminy, DP out the middle.
Yeah, nicely done. And over that South Africa needed. 15 off that. A 1-2-7 for 5.
India Tour of Australia, live and exclusive on Willow, powered by This2 Credit. Get up to $5 million for your business within 72 hours. In association with Ardip, world's leading insights, ratings and analysis provider.
Volume change.
Yep, needed that over. 15 off and a couple to go now, and yeah, they would help greatly if they can get another of that type or thereabouts. If they can get both as big as that, be fantastic. Jordan just sorting out his field. Mid-off is up in the circle. Sweeper offside. Third man in the circle. Fine leg, deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on. It's through. 4.
Yeah, exactly the tonic that South Africa are after. Linde's doing a fantastic little job here. 2 boundaries and a maximum in the space of 4 or 5 deliveries, and that's all about placement. Just opens the face, knows that there's 2 men up behind square in the offside. Good cricket awareness.
Top start if you're South Africa. Start with the boundary. Worked onside the full toss, and they'll be back for a second. Will they get there? Will they? Oh, good dive. Very quick. Here's Rassie van der Dussen.
Yeah, you feel from South Africa's perspective that previous over just gaining a little bit of momentum. Good bit of running by the South Africans in this venue. That needs to be a big part of your game. Get to that 150 mark.
Thinking 2 again and gets back comfortably. Linde's done a really good job, hasn't he? I mean, in his first 2 games, he's shown great ability with the bat, and his bowling was superb in the last game. You even go back to his debut in the Test match arena in India. Second innings, he picked up 5-wicket haul. It was impressive there. So he's only had 3 outings for South Africa, and the standards he's set for himself have been pretty high. You often expect to maybe give someone a bit of a honeymoon period just so he can settle in, but he's been spot on. Good signs for the depth of South African cricket.
Edgefield. And 4 out on that onside.
Yeah, had the privilege of playing alongside George Linde on a few occasions. He's a gutsy cricketer, and he's had a really good start to the domestic season as well in the 4-day stuff. I really like what he's produced thus far in the series. Showing a lot of confidence with the bat. We know what he can do with the ball. Interesting to see whether he opens the bowling again today. Conditions definitely favours that decision.
It'd be more interesting if he doesn't. Yeah, just taking time with the field, making sure that it's okay. Left hand, right hand. Van der Dussen on strike now. Fine leg up. 3 on that onside. On the fence, and then on the offside, 3rd man and a deep point.
I think he'll be disappointed there. I think the 2 areas for me for Van Dussen is one to try and beat 45, and the other one through the covers or over the covers. And if you're going to get a ball that you can maybe caress through that area, that was the ideal one. Hasn't managed to find the boundary as yet. But it's a valuable little partnership. There's 42 of 34.
Oopsie. Thinking 3. We'll get back for 3. Will they? Diving, and I think that might be out, you know. That's going to be close. We're going upstairs.
Yeah, his body language tends to suggest he's already starting to head towards the pavilion. Still not in the picture. Oh, no, he's comfortably short. He was maybe counting on a bad throw, but it was a good one, right near the stumps. Jordan had positioned himself. It's almost like he's standing on the stumps with his right foot, but gets the bails off and comfortably short. Just watch his foot. Oh, did the foot hit it first, but I think the bail was still present when he took it off.
Yeah, confirmation will come. It's a good recovery. Yeah, a couple of runs. But consolation in taking the wicket. Another look at it. Struck to the field, and he'd have been disappointed, George Linde, that he's got it straight to mid-off. It was a full toss, and then Stokes rushing because there would have been an opportunity for a run out as they were running. Doesn't collect it, and his recovery gets him the wicket, the run out, but with 2 added. Linde played well for his 29. It's 139 for 6. There were valuable runs from George Linde.
That's middle.
And then trying to get as many as he can, try and push the field, going back for a 3rd off a misfield. He gets run out, but he's got South Africa to 139, and now they seek a big over to finish off. Rabada's in. Nortje was into the side, and Ngidi and Shamsi. I hope they don't have to bat, because it would mean these two, Rabada and Van der Dussen, Smashing it to all parts to finish off. It's Tom Curran to bowl the final one.
Catch! Come!
Shouts of catch it. Had to try and judge it and initially just hesitated. And now explaining himself as Jofra Archer. Yeah, the shout, and I guess the shout really was come because of the wind going in his direction. And so the expectation that it would be carried to him. Couldn't quite get there in the end.
Could hear some running commentary in the stump mark from Tom Curran. He was quite keen for Archer to get his paws underneath that one.
I think the wind also took his comments to Jofra Archer, and hence the response. Oh, chalk end.
Got himself into that same body position he got out at the last game, where it's the full toss and he just dips the back leg to try and almost get underneath it, but he doesn't have to. He just has to actually stand strong. But he'll be disappointed he's missed out on this one. Knee half full toss again. Just Q-ended.
It's good if you're Tom Curran, 2 balls, just a single in the final over. That works too. You're doing is you're trying to bowl to your field, make them hit it in a direction, and the direction he wants is where he's got all his fielders. His boundary riders are all on that onside, and we said at the start it's a big playing surface, this, so you do have to hit it well to get it out the ground. On a surface that's quite slow, not so easy. Finishing touches, a couple of boundaries with 3 to go here. That's what South Africa would hope for. Bowling. Oh, top stuff by Tom Curran.
Yeah, great execution here by Tom Curran. And even though it's been a subpar thus far for South Africa over, I feel that they're sort of comfortable, I guess, in a way, with the impetus of George Linde. Played a good hand with the bat in hand, 29 of 20 balls.
It's over. Won't go for 4 though. Oh yes it will. Got there but couldn't quite get down in time. Quick across the ground. Here's Jordan, but couldn't get his hand on it, so 4 runs.
Rassie. Once again he persists with that wide Yorker, and KG Rabada gets on the full toss. Is a strong man, is KG. No mug with the bat. You've seen him play some lusty blows in the back end of a T20 innings. Jordan will be pretty disappointed with that effort. Creeping closer and closer to that 150 mark.
Final delivery then of South Africa's innings. He'll run. It might, oh, can't go back. He's collected it. They end 146 for 6, South Africa. No doubt England will be the happiest side. They're happy with restricting South Africa. Good bowling performance from Morgan's Chargers. Now over to the batting. I think that story's still going on.
Yeah, we get a bit of a discussion about what he could have, couldn't have done. But in all, a quality bowling performance, 146 for 6. They've done really well. A surface that was a little bit slow. I think they adjusted their game plans superbly. All the bowlers did a decent job. And they really have set themselves a decent opportunity of wrapping up the series. Archer and Jordan in conversation. Rashid was good with his spin, and I think South Africa will be looking to their 2 spinners to play a big part. But the England captain, Morgan, will be very, very happy with the way his troops conducted themselves in the first 20 overs.
.147 is what England need to get, and they'll be pretty confident. However, the surface is not an easy one, so South Africa will feel that they still have a chance. They've done well to get to 146. A little while ago, we might have thought they wouldn't get close. Adil Rashid has joined us and is downstairs. I hope you can hear me, Adil, first of all.
Yeah, nice and clear, nice and clear.
Excellent. Well bowled. Talk to us about the surface and what it made you do in terms of your plans on how to go about your spell today.
I think the surface was probably a bit slow, on the slow side. There was a bit of grip there. You know, my plan's pretty simple wherever I play. It's bowling my variations. But today, sometimes when you bowl on a slow pitch, you've got to adjust your pace. You may have to bowl a bit slower, a bit quicker. You know, that all depends on the day. So that's what it was today. My plan was just to mix it up and see what happens.
The wind?
Yeah, the wind. Obviously, I think I was bowling with the wind going across me. You know, sometimes, you know, as a spin bowler, you have to bowl any end. You know, sometimes the captain may want another bowler to bowl another end, and you have to bowl whatever end the captain says. So that's something that I'm fairly used to. You know, adjusting to any ends.
Did the size of the playing area adjust maybe the way you approach things? Are you prepared to maybe give it a bit more air on a ground that's a little bit bigger?
Yeah, you can do that, but also depends on the situation of the game. You know, if you've got a few new players in, you can afford to maybe give it a bit more air, get the batsmen come in. Sometimes if the batsmen are going, you have to bowl it a bit flatter. That all depends, like I say, on the day, how the batsmen are going and whatever the situation of the game is.
147, based on the conditions, feel pretty comfortable chasing that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, we've got a strong batting line, batting up to, you know, number 9, 10. We've got players all the way down, so hopefully, you know, the middle order, top order, middle order can get off to a great start.
I see you stopped at 10. What number are you coming in?
I'm at 11. I'm 9, 10.
Don't be so hard on yourself. I've seen you play some good knocks. Come on.
Yeah, I'm at 11. Hopefully I won't be needed.
Yeah, well bowled today. Well done, Adil.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for chatting to us.
You.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. He bowled really well, comes in straight after the power play, and South Africa had gone particularly well up at the front and had put up 50 runs, and so would have felt they could kick on from there. And he started the rot. He just choked things and ensured that it was difficult on this surface to get a big score. Main performer, Quinton de Kock, 30 from 18, quickest of the lot, but good runs, those from Linde. 29 from 20. Van der Dussen didn't get boundaries. That was his story. That was his problem. Hence 25 from 29 and going at less than a run a ball. It showed the difficulty of that surface.
Yeah, really good bowling performance by England. As we look at partnerships, started off really well with 33 of 22 by Bavuma and de Kock. Really to speak of in the middle overs, but towards the end, Rassie van der Dussen and the aggressor, George Linde, played a really good hand with 29, and they ended up with 44 of 35.
As we mentioned, all the England bowlers were pretty good on this occasion. Ben Stokes played a part, 2 overs, 0 for 14. Rashid the pick, 2 for 23, got the ball to purchase nicely. Jordan, 1 for 29. Tom Curran was better today than he was at Newlands. Archer, very impressive, 4 overs, 1 for 18. And Sam Curran just used for the 2 overs up front. And we'll have to maybe see whether he picked up a niggle, and that's why Stokes had to bowl. But all in all, a very good outing for the bowlers.
So we'll say England are the happier side, but we can't say who's going to win. We don't know. It depends on how they go on this surface. South Africa will feel they're in. They must do well. They must win to stay alive in the series. Can they defend 146? We'll find out in not long from now.
wants to know. Are you worried about the state of the world? How about your retirement? It's time to get a plan. Download award-winning, free professional-grade tools and take control of your financial future with Personal Capital. See if you're on track for retirement success and get financial confidence. Are you ready to take control? Join millions of others and download free financial tools today at personalcapital.com.
My son needs this drug. I hope it doesn't cost too much. I hope my insurance pays for it. Can you tell me how much this will be?
67.
Sorry.
Wait, have you heard about GoodRx? GoodRx finds free coupons to help you save up to 80% on your prescriptions.
Wow. I had no idea.
GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions.
India, Tour of Australia, live and exclusive on Willow, powered by Biz2 Credit. Get up to $5 million for your business within 72 hours. In association with Adil, world's leading insights, ratings and analysis provider.
Let me tell you about cricket. It's not just the poster on your wall. Cricket is the fingers you break, the sacrifices you make. This is the game we play. It's what we do. 100% cricket.
It couldn't be any more beautiful here in Pal on a pitch that's been a little slower than perhaps we thought, in a game where England won the toss and put South Africa into bat and restricted them to 147. And it's very hard to know what sort of score that is. The pitch looked just a little uneven, tended to keep a bit low. It's a competitive score. You don't sense it's a winning score against England's strength. Here are the wickets. Sean Pollock and Michael Atherton are alongside me, and generally England's bowlers seem to have more command than South Africa's batsmen, gentlemen.
Well, Archer very good in the opening power play as always. Quinton de Kock sparkled briefly, but his demise really allowed England then to choke things in that middle passage. We'll see Adil Rashid come into the attack just now, and I thought he was the key performer for England, really. He went past 50 wickets today and bowled beautifully. Great control, lovely variations. He really mixed it up, his leg spinner and his googly. He wasn't afraid to give it a bit of air on this slightly bigger ground than Newlands. That was a beautiful leg spinner that did for Faf du Plessis, who just wandered out of his ground and paid a heavy penalty.
Yeah, those back-to-back wickets meant that Adil Rashid was on a hat-trick that Heinrich Klaasen coped with, just about. That was Klaasen chipping it to mid-wicket, furious with himself. He was, though, it really wasn't very easy out there. That's that back-of-the-hand slower ball that Tom Curran bowls. And it was nice to see a better day for Tom Curran. Chris Jordan and... Now watch. Watch that recovery from Ben Stokes. That is quite something. It's typical of Stokes, staying in the moment, staying in the game and changing the game. Because it's a horror of a fumble, a horror of a slip, a medium level chase and a brilliant return. Now there you go, there are the Well, they're all sort of mediocre efforts. 30 by Quinton, Kock, 16, 11, 25, 7, 29, 5 at the end there after Bavuma's 13 at the top. 146 for 6. This partnership, Sean, has at least given the South Africans something to bowl at.
Yeah, it has indeed. There was only boundaries hit in the partnership by Linde. In fact, 29 deliveries that Quinton Dussen faced in his innings and didn't manage to strike one, but at the time it was very valuable. Those were the two big hits that came, and a bit of finesse as well, guiding it behind square, but it was important. It's just given South Africa something to bowl at, under 150. But on a slow surface, it might be worth more than 147. It might be more equal to maybe 160.
Yeah, I agree. 160, 165. There are the bowling figures as ever. Michael Abbott in touch. Dotted Archer 1 for 18. Very, very good indeed. 12 dot balls. That's a good performance. A lot of dot balls really. 2, 12, 6, 7, 10, 4. So they've all done their bit and used the pitch to their advantage really, which all you can do. You're doing the maths on that. 7 overs of dot balls. Yeah.
41, I think, isn't it? 41. Almost.
Yeah, that's a lot of dot balls. I would think. I suppose it's not unparalleled, but it's remarkable. Anyway, it's 147 for England to win the game. It's unlikely to be an easy run chase. The rate 7.3 and over.
Let me tell you about cricket. It's not just the poster on your wall. Cricket is the fingers you break, the sacrifices you make. This is the game we play. It's what we do. 100% cricket.
India Tour of Australia, live and exclusive on Willow, powered by Bairstow Credit. Get up to $5 million for your business within 72 hours. In association with Artip, world's leading insights, ratings and analysis provider. India Tour of Australia highlights. Presented by Royal Chef's Secret. Extra long grain basmati rice. Make it your chef's secret. In association with Prem Jyotish. For happiness, peace and prosperity, contact Prem Jyotish.
Let me tell you about cricket. It's not just the poster on your wall. Cricket is the fingers you break, the sacrifices you make. This is the game we play. It's what we do. 100% cricket. Bringing together, striking together, rising together, glory forever. LPL is the moment we win together. Bringing together, striking together, rising together, glory forever. LPL is the moment we win together. 2020, win together.
India Tour of Australia, live and exclusive on Willow, powered by Bairstow.
Investors, the best hedge is hard assets with low risk and high returns, including steady cash flow. The NRIA Prime Realty Fund pays a 10% monthly distribution plus targeted returns to 21%. Our fund is pro-growth with $1 billion in new construction development backing it. The Fed has plummeted interest rates, so hedge against inflation and receive our free report. Flow with the Fed. Call 201-210-2727.
Hi everybody, welcome to Borland Park in Pal on a beautiful Cape Day. 147 if England are to take a 2-0 advantage in this three-match series. After South Africa were restricted to 146 for 6. England won the toss, choosing to bowl first, bowled very well. They were tidy, they were crafty. Fielding was a bit mixed, but when it was good, it was very good, including a rather bizarre Ben Stokes run out. Anyway, 147, as I say, with Jos Buttler and Jason Roy, the two men out of the middle. Jason Roy will be on strike, and guess what? George Linde, the left-arm spinner who got him out the other night in Newlands, will bowl at him. Jos Buttler with brilliant strike rate, one of the most imaginative batsmen in the world. Jason Roy, one of the most powerful. A strike rate of 147 is out of the top drawer. Simple as that. He could do with runs, just to sort of squash any argument about places and teams and Jonny Bairstow and where he bats and stuff. It worked very well the other night with Bairstow at 4. Ideally, England would be looking to get another spinner into the side, and there may therefore need to be a sacrifice somewhere. But anyway, South Africa need to fight here for all that they're worth. They're a country whose sport is littered with performances of great courage in such situations. It'll be a fine effort if they can pull off a win tonight. Here's George Linde, then to Jason Roy. Oh, that was almost exactly as he was out the other night. We will run you a little replay in a minute of those two together because, well, he's lucky to have missed it. Let's put it that way. So after a wide down the leg side, a little look at what happened at Newlands. Firstly today, what nearly happened to him first ball, and then we're going to go not quite time. Couple of leg byes. Now, think of the nearly moment just now and compare it to the other night.
Yeah, this was the second ball he got. This one turned a little bit more than what we saw today, but feather of an edge. Perfect start for Linde. 2 balls in international T20 cricket. He was on the board, and Jason Roy was back in the pavilion.
He did well to reach a straight ball.
Two separate issues for Jason Roy, really. One is the playing of spin right at the start of the innings, and the second is just how little cricket he has played, how little batting he's had over the last few months. And it's the second of those issues that I think is more important for Jason Roy. There are those people who say he doesn't play spin well at the start. He'd no doubt prefer to be playing a quicker bowler, but I've seen him on many occasions take spin apart in the opening power play. But I think he's a player who needs time at the crease. He needs confidence. He needs to be batting and needs to be in rhythm. And when he's not, that accentuates the slight issue against spin. It'd be good to see him spend some time at the crease.
And yeah, and to sum all that up, the foundation of his game is actually quite orthodox, in that he likes to hit straight down the ground. He plays orthodox sweeps, as we just saw very well. He hits inside out over cover, and there's no reason he can't follow that mantra today. End of a interesting first over, 8 for no win.
At touchofmodern.com, you'll find products that defy expectations for those who seek the extraordinary. Tents brave the Arctic. Coffee tables chill drinks. Rowers are powered by water. And that's just the beginning. Go to touchofmodern.com and venture through a curated collection of the highest quality in fashion, tech, and home, with new items added every day. Touchofmodern.com. Lead the pack. Be the first to discover all the novel and noteworthy products the world has to offer.
And then he chose not to go to the IPL as well for a variety of reasons. So I think that is the key issue for Jason Roy, really. Just a bit of rustiness that he needs to get rid of.
He had one other time in his career where he suffered at the hands of poor form, and the selectors left him out. And of course, when he came back and found his rhythm, he played marvellously well pretty much ever since. Kagiso Rabada. Oh, has he hit it? Little clip of the pad, getting South Africa excited. Lovely footwork from Quinton to Kock.
Yeah, went for the option of having finally leg up in the inner ring, did Kagiso Rabada. And it's I always used to like to start with him back just for the first 1 or 2 deliveries, because your radar can be off. If you just slide one down the leg side, it can get clipped away and go down to fine leg. But South Africa have decided to go with the square leg back on the boundary. I'll be happy he got away with it. No damage done.
Well, they made it in all right. A very convincing shot. Shamsi, the fielder, it's short, fine leg.
Shamsi!
Rabada bowls very straight.
That's centre, John, and that's off stump.
People are asking about the black armbands and for COVID victims. I think they're wearing them for all 3 games, the South Africans.
Normal for me.
There's a little bit there for the bowler. There's no doubt it's not an easy surface.
Well, when he's a little out of touch, he does look like a man who's out of touch, doesn't he, Jason Roy? Slightly rolled his fingers down that one, Rabada, a little bit slower, and Roy eager to get bat on ball. When you're a bit out of nick and you haven't batted so much, you're desperate to get bat on ball.
Good running, needs to be. I think Rabada thinks that might have been out. Bavuma and de Kock did this to England in the first couple of overs. Just dropped it and went.
Well, you take on Bavuma at your peril. He's very quick, very fine fielder. He's in sharply here, and Buttler would have gone. Ball just bouncing over the top of the stumps, gets away with one.
Just safe as well over square leg. It's very old-fashioned to think he should play straight for 4 or 5 overs. 2 gone, 15 for no wicket. Two overs then of the power play, and a boundary each for Jason Roy and Jos Buttler. England in search of 147 to take the series. There will be a third match in Newlands, at Newlands, on Tuesday evening. Now change. George Linde whipped out of the attack, even though Roy is on strike. And here's Anrich Nokia. That's LBW, isn't it? Yes, has to be. Plum in front.
Not only is it the pain of being dismissed, it's done some bodily damage as well. Jason Roy's having a chat with Buttler, and I think they're trying to consider whether it's going to miss the leg stump or not. It's too late in the end, but the time is up. It's taken too long. In fact, umpire Holstock decided that he's got his decision just in time. I had a counter on the screen and it was touch and go, but they're going to send it upstairs and have a look if he's got a reprieve.
Well, certainly worth a review. In fact, I reckon he might get away with this. This could well slide down the leg side. I
don't think there's any doubt. I think he misses the stumps comfortably in the end. Makes contact outside leg stump.
Yeah, missing by miles. Well. What about that? Roy hobbling with a reprieve.
I was going to say, despite the reprieve, he's going to have a sore ankle that has hit him right on the ankle bone, I reckon. Missed all the protection. But he won't be feeling quite as sore as if he was limping off right now, LBW Nortje for 7.
I think because he had come so far across his stumps, it looked at first sighting more out than it looked when we saw the replay. Certainly me and the umpire were pretty convinced. Roy lives on and plays very straight.
And it might just be the moment where you say to yourself, as a batsman who's a bit short of form and out of rhythm, that little moment could possibly change things for you. He was right on the clock then when they decided to review. Basically out of time. The umpire let him have the review. It was certainly going down. He'd be telling himself, that's the moment to change my fortunes.
No.
I think it's a case of point, and often it's for the umpire. He's not 100% sure where it makes contact, and because Jason Roy's moving across the stumps, I mean, we see it on a slow-mo. As it makes contact, it comfortably looks like it's heading down the leg side. But at that point here now, we'll pause it for you there, stop there. And now if you roll it on a few frames, you'll see where he ends up. And that's what the umpire sees. He sees the stumps behind it, and he said, oh, that's got to be crashing into leg stump. He's moved so far across. And it's like a bacon slice on the back leg. That would have been particularly sore.
Yes, it's a surprise watching that again, that it appears as if it only hits the back leg. Doesn't even glance off the left side of that front pad.
And they only just got the decision to go upstairs in the nick of time. I mean, we roll it as slow as we can possibly roll it, but that's what the umpire sees. He sees the two stumps appear behind the pads, and that's why he thinks that it's got to be out.
And is dropped. Oh no! Oh, Josh Buttler's got away with one. Whoa, what a drop, really. Of all the men, too. Such a safe field, a good hands. Caught a lovely catch the other night with KG Rabada.
He did, you're right. He caught Malan the other night, and it was a much more difficult catch than this one, which looped to him, and he just had to move gently to his right, made the ground easily, and inexplicably put it down.
Three gone at 17 for no wicket.
You do need things to go your way, and to drop catches like that, and you've only got 146 to defend. This was the catch he took on Friday, launching himself forward. That's a good one.
Well, the oldest adage maybe in the game, catches win matches. It's a bad miss by Rabada. Here's Lungi and Ngidi. Bowls so well for South Africa, particularly when it's difficult.
Yeah, have a look at those stats. 15 matches, 26 wickets. I think that's the key to him. He just always seems to pick up wickets. Even if he has good days, bad days, he's always in the wickets column.
And I don't know the answer to this, but would more of those have come in opening power play or the death? I mean, my guess would be more to the back end of the innings than the start.
Yeah, he often does both, though. In the years gone by, he's opened the bowling on countless occasions. He bowls in the middle, and he does like to bowl the last few overs at the back end for South Africa. Mix it up beautifully with his slow balls. He often will just come into the attack and pick up a wicket. It's almost uncanny. Plessis has also got the same ability to have an impact.
That's the very best of Jason Roy, and man, that will cut it off. That's great fielding.
Yeah, it's only a couple, but it's the kind of shot that will give Jason Roy a bit of confidence. He's not hit one anywhere near the middle of the bat yet, but this is a beautiful straight bat and pretty much near the sweet spot, and make him feel a little bit better.
And he's pounded that. Just got leg side of the ball to give himself a bit of extra room. Was able to hit it right at the top of the bounce.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets. Contact is supreme. Gives himself a little bit of room and absolutely slaps it through the offside.
Sorry.
delay here as South Africa rethink. At the moment it's staying the same. Actually 5 fielders on the offside are all saving the single. The 2 back are leg side. Generally Ngidi looks to bowl very straight in one-day cricket and changes pace a lot. Matters.
Yeah, Andrew Sampson, our statsman, has come with the answer really to the question I posed to Sean, and my suspicion is right that 14 of those wickets have come between overs 16 to 20 and 8 in overs 1 to 6, so many more at the back end of the innings where he bowls with great intelligence.
Any bowler's got their work cut out when Jason Roy is flexing his muscles.
Hey, Reeza. Come up for me, Kate.
And just interesting to note that after 3.5, South Africa were 33 for 1, England 24 without loss.
And that was about it, wasn't it, for the innings? That brief sparkle from Quinton to Kock, and then the flames were extinguished. South African batsmen in the runs today, but sadly not here at Pal. Sean, you've got to go down to New Zealand, haven't you?
Well, Jason Roy's got 14.
Conway and Phillips.
Jason Roy's got 14. Yes.
Dawid Malan to come.
Dawid Malan to come.
Made his first-class debut here, Dawid Malan.
Trying to stir, eh? He did. He's telling us about how he made his first-class debut on this ground. Malan.
Will someone catch that? They will. So it is finally over for Jason Roy. It had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he started to find a little bit of timing, but then gets that one wrong, and we touched on the fact that Ngidi, so often the man who picks up wickets in this T20 format for South Africa. He's done the trick once again. He saw Jason Roy coming, and he just hit the back of the length with a slow delivery, cut his fingers across it. And a bit of a pirouette as he made contact there. Jason Roy up into the air. And the wind almost took it away from Klaasen, but he holds on to it. South Africa have their second. Roy goes for 14. England find themselves 25 for 1.
Any wicket's a good wicket.
Thank you.
Yep, and make sure that you're making inroads right up front. South Africa don't have a whole lot on the board. It's an interesting surface because it's a slow one, and so not necessarily going to be easy batting out there whilst the ball is hard and new and the fast bowlers are operating. Those men who come in during that power play want to make sure that they use that. There's Dawid Malan, #1 ranked batsman in T20 international cricket. It's got wonderful numbers. Spoiled for choice, England. So many good players. They come in and they belt it in the power play. Certainly look to do that.
Ngidi realising the conditions, he didn't want to stay full, hold into the surface, took pace off. A frenetic innings from Jason Roy. The moment he hit it, he knew he'd hit it straight up in the air.
Yeah, the celebrations didn't start straight away. It went miles up.
Yeah, it's not easy, you know. White ball out of a blue sky, windy, sun in his eyes. They look easy on a replay, but that wasn't an easy catch. Good technique, protects his eyes from the sun for as long as he could. And then the wind just took it to his right. His hands were in the right place at the right time.
I think more right at the end. Oh, look at Rabada, so happy. Because he'd put one down not so long ago, happy for his new ball partner. But Heinrich Klaasen put his hand to his mouth straight after taking that. Nearly just escaped him because of the wind. Yeah, tough catch. But a good start, a wicket. You want one early. Need to be, perhaps they probably would need another wicket in this power play, South Africa, just to feel like they're well in it. Yes, it's slow. And when the spinners come on, they might well do damage, but just to peg England back a little bit. Bowling. Pace.
Yeah, good speeds. He's pretty good in his first over as well. Speeds are up. 149, 149, and then a couple of slower balls. Serious find for South Africa. From the moment I saw him last winter, actually, on the England tour, Test match tour, not only his batting, his bowling rather, his batting as a night watchman, he's got a lot of heart, he's got a lot of pace.
Oh, no run, no run.
Ouch. That's a proper blow. There's been some glancing blows. That, thank goodness for the helmet there. 150k straight at the grill.
I think in the end it might have been his chest. Was it? There you go. That's up there, and it's quick, and the bat gets down in time, and then on a slow day.